So after 19 years, Mike Tomlin steps down. And if you're looking at a pattern here, Chuck Noll, defensive-minded. Bill Cowher, defensive-minded. Mike Tomlin, defensive-minded. And is that next coach going to be defensive-minded? Also, probably going to get somebody who is not established, probably getting somebody who will be in their mid-30s, maybe late 30s. That's been the pattern for the Steelers over the last 60 years. All right, 877-3DP-SHOW. Operator Tyler sitting by. He'll take your phone calls today. Seton, poll question for the first hour is what?
Well, do you want to start with Mike Tomlin or with Mike Tomlin's replacements?
Let's do Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin?
Yeah.
Is it fair to say, or how do I word this correctly, if Mike Tomlin stepped down or was stepped down?
Well, Jerry Dulac, who's covering the team, said according to his sources, Mike Tomlin made the decision that he was going to step down. Yes, Paul.
Was the Mike Tomlin decision to step down completely voluntary, would be my question. Completely voluntary.
Does it matter?
No. Well, I think it does a little bit if you compare it to what happened to Harbaugh.
No, Harbaugh got fired.
Right. But I'm curious if the Pittsburgh ownership suggested this course of action. It's a fair question.
Harbaugh wanted to stay. Tony Dungy told us that when he talked to the front office ownership, it felt like if Mike wanted to continue to coach and he had 2 years left on his contract, then he was going to be able to coach. But do I think it's a mutual? I never believe in a mutual parting where you walk in and you both say at the same time, I think that we should break up. Yes, Eden.
What I kind of want to have happen if I had sort of like some type of magical wish that I could make something happen, I would have Lincoln Riley leave USC and Mike Tomlin take the USC job just so 5 years later we could have that story be true and be like, yeah, see? Nobody believed me, but see what happened? I told you Mike Tomlin was taking the USC job.
Okay. Yeah. And you wonder why Mike Tomlin has never been on this show. Yeah, that was one of those where USC had a list, and I had a source who said, all right, I've looked at the wish list of who we're going to hire. Who would we be interested in hiring?
Who they want to hire,
yes.
Who they like.
Yeah, it's a wish list.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mike Tomlin was on the wish list. That's all. He wasn't interested, never heard anything. So when I said that, hey, I have somebody who's seen this wish list and said Mike Tomlin is on the wish list.
Is this a joke?
And then all of a sudden, somebody says, yeah, Dan Patrick said that, you're interested in the USC job, which is not how I phrased it. I said they are interested in Mike.
Wait, you mean a reporter framed a question to a coach to get a reaction out of him in a press conference? Get out of here.
I know.
They're supposed to be journalists in there. They're professional. They don't do that.
No, they don't. So Mike Tomlin, Lincoln Riley to the Steelers.
Lincoln Riley can go wherever he wants. I just want Mike Tomlin to take the USC job, just so we can have some fun with that.
I'm taking receipt. Are you taking receipts or dropping receipts? What
Keeping receipts.
Keeping receipts.
You keep them.
Keeping receipts. Yes, Todd.
You think Tomlin possibly had a mindset that when I'm about to meet the front office and the owners, if I don't immediately feel the love and the confidence and the encouragement that they want me back, anything less than that, I'm just going to step down. I need to hear that right away. And maybe he was thinking that going in.
I don't know how they phrased it. I don't know how, did they pose a question? Mike, what do you want to do? Or do you say, Mike, we want you back. What do you want to do? We talked about this yesterday. But I think Mike Tomlin probably felt after 19 years, I need to take a big, deep breath here. He's 53. And I'm not saying that this is one of those midlife crises as much as it is, okay, I've accomplished this. I've accomplished a lot. I have total respect around the league. Networks are going to want to hire me. You get together with your wife and you say, what do we want to do? And maybe you want to take that deep breath and just say, you know what? Maybe I do TV. And I don't know how good he would be on TV. I've always found that he's interesting to look at with his expressions. I don't know how demonstrative he's going to be with his words. Like when you see him on the sidelines, you're like, he looks interesting. And it can be fun in press conferences, a little prickly, but I don't know. You put him in studio? You put him on doing a game? Like, I think if you would hire Mike Tomlin, I would want him in studio. I would want to see him, and you could control what he's going to be talking about, as opposed to in a game, just because you know the game, you've coached a game, you've won a Super Bowl, you've been in the playoffs, that doesn't mean you can do a broadcast. But if I put you in a studio, and this is what I would do if I'm NBC, I would say to Mike Tomlin, we want to hire you through the postseason, and we have the Super Bowl. So now I get kind of a head start. Now, do I think CBS is going to reach out? Because Matt Ryan is now working with the Falcons, and I brought that up to Bill Cowher yesterday. Hey, I'd bring in Mike Tomlin this weekend if I'm CBS. Put him in there with Cowher. Then you get to ask him the questions about this. Then you get to talk to him about, the games coming up. So you have him do his first interview with you. Jay Glazer has a great relationship with Mike. I could see that. They haven't replaced Jimmy Johnson. I could see where you bring in Mike Tomlin. But I don't know if he's part of the hijinks that you have at the Fox pregame show. Like wacky, goofy, whack stuff. Whereas CBS, a little bit more, uniformity with that. And you're there with Bill Cowher. That could be fun as well. But he'll have options. But if I'm NBC, I bring him in and I say, we would like to have you through the Super Bowl. See what he says. All right. Yes, Todd.
Is there a standard coach owners meeting? I know like the players, they pack up their stuff and you meet with the press and all that. I was just wondering who initiated the conversation, how much that mattered. Did Mike Tomlin say, hey, do you got a minute to the ownership group? Or did they say, Mike, come on in, let's talk about some stuff?
Well, you always have an exit interview. Every team, every coach has that.
I'd be fascinated to know just how that started and, not that it would be aggressive, but who initiated what are we doing next here? What's our plan? Are we here? Are we not here together?
Well, no, you have an exit interview. Season's over, you get together, you talk about what short-term, long-term plans are. This took on probably a different tone where you're walking in and you're saying, all right, what are we doing? We want you back. What are you thinking? 2 years left on your contract. What are you thinking? That's probably, how this was sort of, the table was set for this meeting. I can't imagine they'd go, hey, Mike, come on in. Let's talk. And so what do you want to do at quarterback next year? What do you think? I think this was, let's start big picture, keep it big picture. If he decides he's going to stay, well, now we can have some questions about the roster. And I thought at the beginning of the year, I thought that this would be the last year for Tomlin, the last year for Aaron Rodgers. And it looks like Aaron Rodgers will be done in Pittsburgh as well. I don't know if there's any other opportunity for him. Somebody suggested to me yesterday, well, what if Minnesota brought him in? And I thought, okay, maybe this past year, but now all of a sudden he's 43 and he's looking every bit 43. You still have a couple of good receivers on that team, and I think they want to open up the competition with J.J. McCarthy, but I don't want a one and done. Or, like Pittsburgh. All right, it was 1 year, you rolled the dice, you got to the playoffs, and that's it. It didn't work out. But I don't know if I see a team, like you can't have a team go, hey, let's bring him in and maybe people, like the Cleveland Browns, hey, maybe somebody will show up to watch Aaron Rodgers play quarterback. I don't see that. I don't think that there's this victory tour for him. I don't think he's interested in that. But with Mike Tomlin, and you're going to get compensation if Mike coaches the next 2 years. That's why I think if he takes that TV job, he might take it for 2 years. Now, I don't know if you still have to compensate the Steelers after those 2 years because he does have 2 years left on his contract. I don't know if that continues in perpetuity if he takes another head coaching job. Yes, Marvin.
Do you see him pulling a Bill Cowher or Coach Cowher where you never coach again because, hey, I coached the Steelers. What can get better than this?
Well, there was sensitivity involved with Bill Cowher with his wife. She was sick, and he needed to spend more time, 3 daughters. And so I think that that's the reason why Bill was not coming back to coaching. And also, these guys get into TV and they realize it's not bad. It's not. The wear and tear, the hours, wins, losses, all of that. You wake up Monday, you're good. You didn't lose. You might have won a little bit with, your performance on TV, but you rarely lose. You get to go have meals, you get to wear nice clothes, you get to have people, put makeup on you. It's not bad. Not bad at all. So I think Mike, he strikes me as he's a coach and would still want to coach. But I think, look at the NFL. Look at all the openings here. And I thought there would be 6, maybe 7 openings. I was told yesterday by a source, don't rule out somebody else's team in the playoffs changing coaches. And I'm thinking, how many candidates are out there? But you got John Harbaugh at the top of the list. I don't know if Mike Tomlin would be on that list, but if I'm a team, all of these teams, I'd be reaching out to Mike Tomlin. What I would want is an interview with Mike Tomlin so Tomlin could tell me about my team. If I'm Arizona, I go, Mike, we'll turn this over to you. We'll give you $20 million. You can do whatever you want. Total autonomy. And see if he's interested. He's probably not. Yeah, Paulie.
A couple of things on Tomlin. Since the Steelers did not fire him, they retained the rights to him throughout the 2027 season. So any team that hires him this coaching cycle or next year's coaching cycle would owe some type of compensation to the Steelers. Also, the Steelers posted this 35 minutes ago. Steelers president Art Rooney II will speak to the media today at 12 Eastern. And then yesterday they posted, thank you, Coach Tomlin, for the hard work, dedication, success you brought the Steelers for over 19 years.
Okay.
A couple things.
All right. So we'll talk to Jerry Dulac, who covers the Steelers, and get his thoughts on how this all came about. And, it felt like one of the worst kept secrets because people kept saying, man, Tomlin, I could see him doing TV. Boy, he'd be good at TV. I don't know. You're 53. You're in the middle of a playoff chase. You get into the playoffs. You lose in the playoffs. Now, all of a sudden, you step down. So there was something there, and it had been there for a while. But if you win that game, does he still eventually step down? Was this a foregone conclusion maybe in his mind and maybe the Steelers?